Let's bring in SeoRhin Yoo, who's a senior policy analyst for interprovincial affairs at the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. Hey, good to see you again. Thanks for your time.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, so we've seen a lot of these memorandums of understanding, as they're known as, big meeting coming up in Quebec City later this week as well. Your thoughts on how much of an impact all of this is actually going to have, SeoRhin?
A lot of the memorandum of understanding, they don't really have that legal bite of, say, a legislation. So that is kind of what we're cautioning as an organization for a lot of the provinces, as well as, if the federal government decides to do a memorandum of understanding, just to, be cautious because, it could amount to something. It might not. It's really up in the air, really depending on, how much the jurisdiction wants to move forward. So we are saying maybe not so much, like of the patchwork that we're seeing, but try to move forward on, legislating a unilateral mutual recognition or something that can really have the legal teeth to benefit all Canadians.
Certainly, these two premiers, are pro-business, and open for business, and that really helps in terms of trying to bring their two economies together. Might be a different situation for other premiers. Some have criticized this kind of stuff, SeoRhin, as political theater. What's your read?
Well, I will say for years, we've had challenges from all sorts of political leaders in getting them to sit down and talk about getting that internal trade across, the finish line. We're seeing lots of talks now, and we're very hopeful that this is going to, turn into something fruitful. We don't want to, push anyone down, any of the jurisdictions down when they are, trying to actively work on this. It's the most action that we've seen in years since the signing of the Canada Free Trade Agreement. We don't want to, put a wrecking ball through it.
The other question I've got is, what are your hopes for about this meeting coming up in Quebec City? When does the rubber meet the road?
We're hoping that through this Committee Internal Trade meeting, as well as from the COF meeting that's going to come up later this month, we'll see some clarification on a lot of things that we weren't really, clear on. So things like the pan-Canadian direct-to-consumer alcohol shipment. There's lots of interest in that from all the provinces. From what we could hear, we didn't really see too much transparency on what the actual plan or implementation was going to be. So hopefully we can get that from this meeting as well. There's a deadline for December of this year to have mutual recognition of goods across Canada. We are wanting to know, what exactly that's going to look like. So hopefully these meetings can, act as the negotiating table to let Canadians know, let our organization and other associations know this is what's going to happen, and just, provide that clear timeline.
SeoRhin, always good to see you. Appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.